Conduct competency assessment. Collect the evidence and make the assessment decision. To simulate the assessment process, two candidates will be shown performing the task in this video. One candidate will represent being competent while the other one is not yet competent. Explain to the candidate the task to be performed.
For electronic product assembly and servicing NC2 qualification, I am going to assist your skills and knowledge in assemble electronic product. You are going to perform that specific task regarding with that competency. You are going to perform mounting and soldering electronic components. So candidate number 1, this is your assessment area. We are now here in the assessment area where you are going to perform mounting and soldering electronic components.
Ask the candidate to read the specific instruction to the candidate once more.
So I have here the instruction. Please read it again, candidate number 1.
Given the necessary materials, tools, and equipment, the candidate must be able to perform the knowledge, skills, and attitude required to assembly electronic product and system for consumer, industrial, user applications. It is consisted of identifying and preparing electronics components and circuit, preparing or making printed circuit board or PCB modules, mounting and soldering of components, assembling electronic products, and performing mechanical and electrical or electronic tests in 8 hours.
Ask if the candidate has questions or clarifications regarding the instructions.
If you have any question, you may ask now because as soon the assessment begins, you cannot longer ask questions. Do you have any question or clarification?
Ma'am, I don't have further questions.
In that regard, you may begin. Please be informed that after the demonstration, there will be an oral questioning.
Okay, ma'am.
Conduct assessment in accordance with the methodologies specified in the evidence plan and the specific instructions for the competency assessor. Implement the evidence gathering process and ensure its validity, reliability, fairness, and flexibility. Observe the candidate and keep notes of the candidate's performance during the entire conduct of assessment. These notes will be used for the provision of feedback to the candidate's performance during the assessment. Collect appropriate evidence and match compatibility to the elements, performance criteria, range of variables, and evidence guide in the relevant units of competency. Judge the evidence in terms of dimensions of competency, task skills, task management skills, contingency management skills, and job or role environment skills. Judge the evidence in terms of validity, consistency, currency, recency, authenticity, and sufficiency. After the demonstration, the candidate will be asked a series of questions based on her performance during mounting and soldering components for the oral questioning.
How are you going to identify faults in electronic products?
I would use tools like multimeters and oscilloscope to check for electrical issues such as wrong voltage or broken connection. Visual inspection and testing individual components help identify faulty parts.
What safety measures should be in place when preparing and handling PCBs during the assembly of electronic products?
When handling PCBs, workers should wear gloves and safety glasses to prevent direct contact with hazardous materials. Also, they should work in a well-ventilated areas and follow proper procedures to avoid exposure to toxic fumes or electrical hazard.
What will you check first if ulit. What will you check first if an assembled product does not work?
First, I check if the power supply is functioning correctly, then inspect the connection and component on the PCB for any visible damage or loose connection.
How would you handle a situation where a component is not available?
First, check if there is an alternative component with the same specification that can be used. If not, consider ordering the required part or contacting the supplier for a potential substitute.
How does the 5S discipline contribute to maintaining safety and efficiency in the assembly workplace?
The 5S discipline helps maintain safety by organizing tools and materials, reducing clutter and the risk of accident. It improves efficiency by creating a clean, structured environment that allows workers to easily access what they need and stay focused on tasks.
The candidate number 1 is able to answer all the questions asked by the assessor. The candidate number 2 will also be able to answer the question though some of her answers are incorrect. Record on rating sheets details of evidence collected and judgment made about the candidate's performance.